My companies have generated over $115 million in sales, and in the next 11 minutes, I will teach you exactly how to make your first million. And the good news for you is with all the recent changes with technology and AI, people are lazier than ever before, which means it is wide open for you to become a millionaire if you simply apply yourself. Becoming a millionaire isn't anywhere near as hard as it used to be before the invention of the internet, YouTube, Instagram, or even Facebook. Most people just don't understand how to strategically get there. In fact, they can't even comprehend how it's possible. That's why we want to break this down to smaller goals like $1,000, then $10,000, then $100,000, and then onwards to 1 million. So starting with $1,000 is a manageable goal that anyone can hit. So let me show you how to do just that. Now, on the way to making your first $1,000, you're probably working a more normal job, and that's fine. Most entrepreneurs will tell you not to get a job, but they're just flat out wrong, and here's why. See, in business, you need a good work ethic, a lot of people skills, and probably most importantly, confidence. You need to be able to read people, pick up on their cues, and understand psychology so you can sell them your services and products. If you don't understand what makes people tick, you'll have a very hard time influencing them. And remember, people only like to buy from people they know, like, and trust, and it's very hard to trust someone who isn't confident. Being a server and selling door-to-door security alarms helped me make my first $1,000 too. I learned how to better work as a team, handle multiple orders and tables at the same time. I learned how to be more efficient with my tables. And again, I learned how to read and speak to people. Now, you're probably wondering how having these jobs has any relevance when it comes to making your first $1,000. But think about how much easier it was for me to do because of all the times I had practiced building my confidence, multitasking, and learning sales skills. That's why making your first $1,000 in business actually has nothing to do with the business you start and much more about the skills you are learning from your first job or jobs. You'll want to pick a job that helps you build your confidence and sales ability so when you go to sell your first product or service, you aren't so nervous or anxious you can't even remember what to say and fumble the football, so to speak. Making your first $1,000 is all about learning people skills and building confidence. If you focus on that, your first sales in your business will come easy and naturally. What's the most special about earning your first $1,000 is your goal of becoming a millionaire starts turning from just an idea and now starts to become a reality. And most of you won't believe me, but going from $1,000 to $10,000 is actually the same level of difficulty because once you make your first sale, your confidence will go up even higher. Now, making your next $10,000 is really about one key thing, coming up with the right offer and the right price point. That's it. When I first started selling my fitness programs and packages, it was all at the wrong pricing. To really change your financial situation, you need to aim for at least 2x what you currently make in a month right now. And at the time, I was averaging $3K a month, so a few $47 sales here and there didn't do much for me besides pay for Subway sandwiches or some gas. Now, maybe you don't know how to come up with the right offer, so I want to leave you with a few ways you can figure out what it is you want to sell. Number one is we want to pick something in the health, wealth, or relationship niche, or at least tie back what we're selling to getting more of them. What I mean by that is nobody wants to hire a trainer, they just want to be in better shape. Nobody wants to hire a business coach, they just want to make more money. Nobody wants to have a therapist, they just want better relationships. People only buy services or products if it relates back to improving one of those three areas. Now you may be thinking, well, Tanner, I don't have any skills and I'm not good at anything. Not only is that not probably true, but I'll show you how to come up with ideas if you feel that way. First, write a list down and think of these things. Look at your current skill sets. Think about what you have achieved over the last 5 years. Think about what comes easy to you that is difficult for others. What do others come to you for advice on? Have you ever given someone help with something? Or if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself? And usually that can become what you sell. What would you teach your younger self? What challenges have you gone through in life and overcome? Or what problems have you solved for yourself? Or what could you talk about all day long without getting bored? Or what would people pay to learn from you? Ultimately, just teach something you actually know. And to prove my point, let me give you examples of weird businesses of clients that I've worked with who make at least $10,000 a month. We have writing, storytelling, public speaking, building muscle, coding, how to write blogs, building computers, overcoming addiction like porn or alcohol, growing social media, filmmaking, email marketing, playing guitar, investing, mindset coaching, sales coaching, job placements, learning how to draw, day trading, SAT or ACT prep, and a dating coach. And if you still feel like you have nothing to offer, then from here, go to udemy.com or allison.com to learn a skill if you genuinely think you have none, which isn't true, but then at least this way there is zero excuse not to have an offer. Now, once we have done that, we want to run the offer through the $100 million offer equation to make our offer as strong as possible. The way this formula works is we have 4 quadrants. Determined outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort. Let me give you a few examples of how this works. Let's take a normal fitness offer, for example. You lose 20 pounds, the determined outcome, times the low likelihood of achievement, most people fail, divided by 3 months, right, the time delay, times a high effort. Then if you take liposuction, for example, you can lose 20 pounds times 100% results guaranteed, divided by instant results and no effort. So the liposuction offer in this example is easier to sell because it has more quadrants in its favor than a regular fitness offer. And your objective should be to make your offer as enticing as possible without compromising your integrity. Now, you can't ethically promise someone they will lose 20 pounds in a day, for example, but make the best overall promise that you can. Now, in terms of pricing, I recommend you create an offer where you can make at least $1,500 per sale. And the reason for this is because of what happened to me early in my business career. When you sell stuff for a low price, you create a bunch of unnecessary risk. Think of Shark Tank, for example. Most entrepreneurs on Shark Tank usually have taken out loans to sell a low price product with razor thin margins. Now, sure, some of these businesses can blow up, but very few actually make it because their pricing is too low, and so they have to take on massive debt to pay for all the expenses of the business. One of the benefits of charging higher prices is that you don't need a lot of customers to make a lot of money. Because of that, you don't need a ton of interest, and because you make so much per client, you can afford to miss a sale or two without it hurting you much. Keep in mind, I made $10,000 off just 6-ish sales. If I kept selling my $47 item, I would have had to make 212 sales to make the same amount of money. I know it seems like a higher priced item is harder to sell, but it's not because you only have to sell 6, for example, versus 212. And while you may not believe me, going from $10,000 to $100,000 is doing the exact same things on a faster timeline. To move to the next phase of $100,000, we just need to do the same activities in a faster time frame with a consistent way to generate leads. For example, there are only 2 ways to get leads into a business. One way is organic outreach or posting content. Now, for most watching this, I'm going to assume you don't have a big following or you haven't gone viral before, so that only leaves organic outreach. Now, organic outreach is where we're either reaching out to our followers on social media or strangers. If I was reaching out to my followers, numbers I may be looking for is sending 20 messages per hour. We only want to send 20 to avoid spam blocks. And let's say out of 100 messages, we would get a 30% response rate from those messages. We would book 5 calls and then we would close 1. And let's say the close we had was at $3,000. So if we wanted to make another $97,000, we would need to send another 3,200-ish messages or so. Or if we were reaching out to strangers, all the numbers would be similar, except the response rate would be closer to 10% versus 30%. Now, there's a few ways we can attack scaling to $100,000. The first way is we could just send all the messages ourselves and work more hours. The second way is we could hire someone to send the messages for us. Or the third way is we could pay for social media ads and have the prospect come straight into our inbox. All of these ways work and have pros and cons adjusted to them, but are all based on the premise of doing the same things faster. Lots of people think going from 10K to 100K is about adding extra things to your plate, when in reality, it's just doing all the same things at a much faster pace. The difference between making 1 million in a year versus 1 million over a lifetime is one person is now rich and one person still isn't, simply because of the amount of time it took for them to get there. But the craziest part yet is going from $100,000 to 1 million is actually the easiest level to get to. When you want to get to this level, all that's left for you to do is to replace yourself and start creating leverage. At one point in my business, I was working 16 plus hours a day doing messaging, sales calls, fulfillment, building websites, and pretty much every other task you could think of, and I was completely burned out. I wanted to make more money, but I realized no matter how much harder I worked, I simply didn't have enough time in the day to get every single task done. So I realized the next skill in my tool belt I had to learn was hiring. At this amount of scale, you no longer will have time to work inside the business and will have to move to working on the business and building a team to represent you. This is why the richest people in the world all say that leadership is the most important skill. The better you hire and train, the more the business will grow, and the very best part is it will 100% grow without you. Although it seems complex, it's actually fairly simple. First, Make an application that weeds out potential candidates for experience. You want to hire someone to replace you, so without experience, it becomes a lot of extra work for not a whole lot of benefit. Second, on the interview, make sure they fit the culture of who you are. If you work long hours, you want people who think the same way. A big mistake I made early in my career was trying to accommodate everyone when I should have only found people who matched my mindset. Third, have an SOP sheet for every position where it has walkthrough videos and instructions on every single thing they need to do for that position. And there you now have a complete pathway to $1 million. If you want to see how I would go from 0 to $1 million in less than 12 months, just click here.